Thank you for joining me once again for another episode of the Tamara Tamu Collective, where dreams have no filter. In this episode, we are going to be talking about discovering the sacred connection within. All right, so what prompted this video, one of the things that prompted this video is that I had a wonderful viewer. I'm not even sure if that person is actually a subscriber to the show, but a viewer made a comment on one of my videos. I don't even remember which one it was, doesn't matter. But the person was saying how they had been searching and searching for a video to, give them, some words of encouragement, maybe finding some inspiration or motivation or just some help to get through whatever it is that they were dealing with. And the person said that they had been searching and searching and they were not able to find what they were looking for. So they came across one of my videos. Whatever I said offered some comfort. Some words that I said offered some help that perhaps that they were looking for. And, while I appreciated the comment and I was glad that whatever video that that person watched, they were able to gain something from it, I had to think, number one, this is why, one of the reasons why I do this is because the foundation of the show is to remind us that we have power within, period. Okay? And so what prompted this video today is that I started thinking, how long had this person been searching? How long had this person, how many minutes, how many, hours had this person been looking outside of themselves for something, for motivation, for happiness, peace that they already have within themselves? So that's what we're going to talk about today. We're going to get into why we just automatically, if we need something, we automatically go outside of ourselves for it. We're going to talk about what happens when we do that, and when we go down a rabbit hole, how sometimes we can find ourselves being forced to go within ourselves because nothing around us is helping us, or we can't find the help. There's no one available, so we're forced to sit quiet. And then we're going to talk about, once we're quiet, what happens. I'm going to talk about some reconnecting tips with the power within. So let's get into it. All right. So why is it so automatic for us to search outside of ourselves? There are many, many reasons. We are not going to cover the many, many reasons because most of those reasons fall into really several categories. Okay. So number one is programming. We're programmed to not go within. We are programmed to look to other people, to give us permission to follow our dreams, to validate us. We look to other people for reassurance. We look to other people to even validate our own intuition. We look to other people to validate our worth. That comes from religion. And this video is not to bash religion, but I need to talk about it. Religion has you going to someone else, whether that someone else is a big person in the sky that we call God. Religion has you going to a minister or a preacher or a pastor to pray for you. Religion has you go outside of yourself, whereas spirituality is encouraging you to go within. Okay, so That's one of the programming constructs is religion, because you're viewing that thing. Let's go back to what I just said about God. God is seen as separate from you when it comes to religion. So automatically right there you have you, and then this thing that you're desiring, this thing that you're looking for, this peace that you need, this love that you need, you're automatically looking at that as something separate from you, and it isn't. All right, so that's the first thing. Then we've got the programming constructs from education. There's somebody always in authority in education, which translates over into the workforce. An employer is viewed as in authority. All right, so just those three constructs right there, you're not encouraged. We are not encouraged to go within. We're not encouraged to tap into the power that we already have. And so that brings me to my next point. No one is taught to go within. So, for example, thousands of years previously, okay, that's where the idea of heresy came from. Self-empowerment was viewed as a negative thing. Self-empowerment was viewed as a negative thing, which is why it was so easy for all these different and many religions to sprout, because it was viewed as a way to control people. With self-empowerment was viewed as a threat to those that wanted to control other people, to those greedy for control. So, programming. I think you get the idea. All right. So, now, when we live according to that programming, we spend most of our lives looking again outside of ourselves. We go down these rabbit holes, searching for video after video, searching for podcast after podcast, searching for speaker after speaker, coach after coach, book after book. So what happens is we have all of this information, but then what? We've got all this information, but yet we're still grabbing for something outside of us, trying to either be fulfilled, feel fulfilled, not realizing that you can go after information every single day of your life. But it's until you make that inner connection with the source that's in you, that's where your fulfillment is. So here's what can happen. In order for us to learn that, to come to that realization, what can happen is we can suddenly find ourselves in challenging situations where we have nothing else to do but to go within. You may try to reach out to somebody. You may try to call someone. They don't answer the phone. You may send someone a text message. They may not get back to you right away. And suddenly, you find yourself, maybe you were contacted by friends and, they want you to go out. They want you to go to lunch, dinner, party, whatever. And for some reason, you are just not feeling it. For some reason, you want to be by yourself. So there's the feeling of wanting to be by yourself, and then there's the forced isolation where you can't find anyone. Okay? So the universe has a way of placing us in those situations so that we can go within. Does it always feel good? No. But sometimes that is necessary, depending on how long you've been going down that rabbit hole. And also, those challenging circumstances can feel isolating. So even if you do have people around you, you may not even know how to articulate what you need until suddenly you find yourself saying by yourself out loud, okay, I need help. And that's when you can tap into that power. Okay, so what are the benefits of this forced self-connection, this forced source connection? So one of the benefits is that you become less reliant on anything in your outer environment to fulfill you. Anything. Now, here's a side note here. Don't be confused. I am not saying that having community and having relationships and having friendships are not important. Of course they are. That's not what I'm saying here. But what I am saying is that you cannot look, if you don't have, let's say that you don't have really close friends right now. Let's say you don't have that for whatever reason. Does that make you less worthy to eventually have friendships? No. Does that mean that your life does that mean you have to feel less fulfilled in your life if you don't have those friendships? No, it does not. So, back to the benefits for self-connection. So you become less reliant on your outer environment because you start to realize that your outer environment does not have a say on your connection with your power source within. Also, what it does, the most obvious thing, is that you reconnect with your God power, with your goddess power, with source within you. It is not separate from you. You are an extension from it. Okay? You are an extension of the infinite. All right? Also, another benefit of having to be forced to go within is that you start to trust yourself. You start to trust yourself again. Your intuition starts to expand. Your intuition starts to be stronger. Your intuition starts to be heightened. And you'll start to understand that whatever you need, if you do need support from other people, that will be sent to you in the most miraculous ways. It won't be anything that's going to be forced. What you need will be sent to you. All right? But it's first, we have to work on the internal connection. All right? So, now, when you are by yourself, when you have decided, you know what, I'm not going to look outside of myself, I'm powerful, I have an infinite connection with Source, which has an abundance of everything that I need. So I'm going to get quiet. So here, if this is new to you, or perhaps you've done that before, you've gotten away from it and you're trying to not trying, but you're getting back to that inner connection. Here's a few tips. And at the end of the day, you have to do this in a way that is natural for you. I'm just sharing these tips because this is what has worked. This is what is working for me. Okay. So you get quiet. There's no time frame here. For some of you, 10 minutes. Some of you, 5 minutes. It does not matter. Forget about the time. Get quiet. Say what you are searching for out loud. I don't care what it is. I don't care if it's peace that you need. I don't care if it's inspiring words that you're looking for. I don't care if you are searching for reassurance that you're on the right path. I don't care if it's direction, guidance, money. Why am I inviting you to say what you need out loud? Because there is such power in talking out loud. When you speak, your words carry life-giving force. Okay? There's a power in hearing your voice that can spark a dormant power, dormant direction, dormant messages that are waiting for you to access within you. And you didn't even have to ask anybody for anything. Okay? So that's why I'm telling you to say what you need out loud. Forget about, now the ego is going to come up. The ego is going to say, oh, you sound crazy. You're not supposed to ask for stuff like that. You're not supposed to ask for, that's too big. No. Say exactly what you need and what you're searching for out loud. I don't care if you are needing a bigger closet, a house with a bigger closet. Do you understand what I'm saying? Be specific. Just say exactly what you need and want out loud. All right? So, after you do that, grant yourself the space and the time to sit and listen. Sometimes we don't want to do this because we know how powerful we are, and we know that answers can come quickly. Sometimes the messages that get downloaded, because they can be so foreign to us, it can make us nervous. Sometimes the messages will come throughout the day, but it doesn't matter. Either way, give yourself, after you said what you want out loud, after you said what you need out loud, after you said what you're searching for out loud, give yourself the space to sit and just be quiet. With no attachment, not expecting to get, for lightning to flash. Push expectations to the side with no attachments. You're just sitting there without dismissing what comes to your heart. All right, so I have to look at my notes here because I have to make sure that I give you this information, that I say this correctly. All right, so many times, like I just said, many times that sitting and getting quiet and just listening to your heart, this is where people get anxious, because what can generate, most of the time, what can generate is a message or a vision that is not in line with what has been familiar to you. It's not supposed to, because what you've done by sitting there saying out loud, you have reconnected with your soul. You've reconnected with source, which takes you far beyond your ego. The ego doesn't know shit. Your soul knows everything. So the message is not, 9 times out of 10, it's not going to be in line with what is familiar to you, with what is familiar to your ego. All right? So another thing that can happen is, in addition to receiving visions or messages or downloads, you can feel in your body, there's a sensation. You can feel warmth in your body. it's almost as if this may sound, these are the words that I'm getting, but it's almost like you're being hugged and embraced from the inside out. You can feel a sense of calm. You may even start to cry. You may feel electricity in your body. You may feel an urge to just close your eyes or to move your body even in a certain way, and you don't even know why. Just whatever happens, let that be. That is your connection. Just let that be. And some of us have had moments like that. And many times we want to dismiss moments like that because it doesn't make sense. It's not logical. Somewhere along the line, it has become more logical for us to search, to hear words from someone else, to get messages from someone else, to get reassurance from someone else, to get something or some comfort from that, versus going within to connect to the power source that has everything we need and desire in infinite measure. So that's it for this video. I know that this video helped you. I know that these tips helped you. Let me know if you have any questions. Leave them in the comments. Let me know some of your takeaways from this video in the comment section. And until next time, cheers.